What's going on, everybody? Mark here with CCO Science of Fishing. We have a very special guest today. We got Nick Carullo. It's good to have you, brother.
Thanks, man. Looking forward to being here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, guys, we're going to talk about everything with Nick today. We're going to talk about what's new with him, what he's been up to, his deal with Frontrunner Boats, and kind of where he's at lately with Blacklash Radio, his new podcast, and what's been going on with him and Hook Optics and everything else.
You've landed on CCO's The Science of Fishing, where passion meets precision. Hold on tight as we dive in. But before we do, we would like to thank Sea Mule and Black Reef Co. for sponsoring this episode.
Nick, what's been up with you lately, man? I heard your wife's pregnant. You're about to have a baby, man. Congrats.
Yeah, she's due today, actually, but luckily he's not coming today. I think we got a few more days, but we're excited and, yeah, ready to get the little guy out and get him on the boat,
Dude, absolutely. Yeah, man. So, is he going to be a big fisherman or
I hope so.
hopefully?
I don't think he has a choice. I mean, he's got the ocean room set up, so.
Yeah, man. Does your wife fish at all?
I mean, I wouldn't say she fishes, but
Yeah.
she enjoys it and she enjoys being on the boat.
Okay. So for sure, it'll be a water baby.
Yeah.
You got a name picked out?
Atlas Capt.
Okay. Cool, man. How'd you
Yeah.
come up with that?
Just my wife's half Greek, so Atlas kind of got that Greek origin from there. And then I wanted to name him just Cap, C-A-P.
Yeah.
She didn't let me have that, so the middle name's Cap.
Well, that's okay. Well, cool, man. Congratulations,
Thank you,
bro.
thank you.
So, you've been kind of all over the place lately. There's been some news that so you've kind of separated from your old podcast and that old company. I know we're not going to get into the details of it, but can you kind of tell the people what's going on? Because I'm sure everybody's a little curious.
Yeah, so no longer with Bill Fish gear anymore. Many of you probably already know. And Anthony and I started a new pod called Blacklash Radio. But yeah, with Bill Fish, we were kind of just in, I think, we wanted a different direction and I decided to just go my own direction.
That's good for you, man. Well, and congratulate you on
Thank you.
doing your own thing now with Anthony, and you guys have Hooked Optics as well. They're a big sponsor of yours as well, right? You got a pair right there, right?
Yep, Hook Optics and Frontrunner, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, Anthony and his family, they've been great. The glasses are amazing, so really enjoying it.
That's cool, man. So, what can people kind of expect from your podcast? What's coming up? Is it going to be the same style of bill fishing oriented, or are you really going to start diversifying into a lot of different aspects of things?
I mean, we're going to kind of just stick to where we kind of left off, I think. Obviously, bill fishing and sport fishing and stuff like that. But Backlash, we came up with the name because we thought that Backlash was a name that, everyone could relate to. So we thought that was important not to just like lock ourselves into, just sport fishing, So yeah,
Right.
we do want to kind of branch off into other avenues eventually and kind of, get and cross a bunch of different industries.
That's great to hear, man. That's awesome. So, you're a seasoned captain. You've worked under some of the legends out there like Ray Rocher and all that. So, can you tell the people kind of where you started or how you got into fishing and kind of have you progressed to become now one of the best captains out there, in my opinion?
Thank you.
I've always looked up to you. You didn't know me before I reached out to you, but I've always seen you from afar and kind of seen what you've been doing. And you've been kind of a role model that to be honest, guys, the podcast kind of started because I was listening to this guy for a while. So, kind of tell the people how you got into fishing and where your progression in your career has been and how you've gotten to where you are now.
Yeah. I mean, my dad just kind of got me into fishing as a young kid. I mean, probably like many of us. I just, from a young age, he just couldn't keep me out of a canal, a lake, the beach. I mean, wherever I was, I had to put a hook in something. And, the older I got, it just became more and more passionate about it. Along with sports, I was always, playing a few sports at the same time through high school and everything. And then even a couple years in the college. But once kind of I was wrapping up or in college is when I started first working on a boat in Palm Beach for a guy named Torrey Turney, and he was a great guy. One of the kind of first, better operations I was a part of. And then I went up to Ray Rocher after Key West. I don't even remember the year, a long time ago. And I just asked him, hey, man, I'd love to work for you one day. I've always, I looked up to Ray, his team, everybody. And, I said, hey, if you ever have a spot open, I'd love to join the team and, do whatever I have to do to be a mate. And he's like, hey, man, I'm full right now, but, I'll definitely keep you in mind. And, obviously I was a little hurt at the time, but whatever, just kept doing my thing. And I think he called me maybe 2 or 3 months later, and, that was kind of like my foot in the door, and kind of ran with it from there.
That's awesome, man. Is it true that he yells a lot?
Well, if you ask him, he says he does not yell at all.
That's what he says to me, but
I don't think he yells anymore, but I think when I was there, I think there was some yelling or, talking to you in a way where he make you feel really bad about what you just did.
Yeah. Well, I guess
that's
his
part of
right.
it.
Yeah. That's part of getting to where you are. So you didn't just jump from Ray to being a captain on your own, right? Kind of, how did your career develop? And now you're pretty much an expert in the bill fishing realm, from what I understand.
Well, sail fishing, most would say.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely trying to get my way more into the marlin aspect now.
Right. So how did that develop? Like what?
But yeah, no, after Ray actually did start running a boat. It was a 42 yellowfin for the Villasante family, and we sailfish really, really hard. And I was doing that, during sailfish season, and that was kind of like, I guess, my, real first captain job. Got my captain's license then. And then in the summers, I was kind of freelancing or taking like a full-time summer job on some bigger rigs, doing Bermuda a few times and the Bahama season and stuff like that. And that's kind of where I'm trying to start, learning the marlin, aspect of it. And then from there, from that high standards operation, that kind of fell through after the first couple of years, and ran a boat called the Rockstar after that. And just every year, it seemed like every 2 years is kind of on almost like a new program, which, kind of sucks starting over, but, that's how it goes. But I was fortunate to have, a lot of the guys kind of stay with me over the years, fishing with some of my best friends like Frankie and JC, Corzo and Doug and Kyle now. So it's been a fortunate, I've been fortunate. It's been a good run.
That's awesome, man. And now you're with Front Runner, right? So
yeah, Front Runner. Last year was my first kind of season with them. So yeah, just kind of, again, starting with them and trying to make something happen for them as well.
I gotcha. So now you're running what? What kind of Front Runner are you running now?
Last year I ran a 39 Front Runner that I helped develop with them, gap tower boat with some Wicked Wells glassed into the boat, which was
nice.
Really, really nice touch to the boat. And that's kind of like what I think just separates any boat from a lot of boats, is just having the proper wells. And Scotty with Wicked Wells just kind of was ahead of the curve, always been with his wells. So yeah, that boat came out great. I think that boat's going to go for sale soon, and I think this year I probably should be running the 47 Front Runner.
Nice, man. That's going to be sweet. That's going to be a nice ride.
I'm excited. It's a
big,
comfy boat, and it's a light blue boat. It's got a pretty look to it.
That's sweet, man. That's beautiful. I was up at their warehouse. One of my earlier podcasts was with Phil.
Yeah.
So he's a cool guy. He's a cool
an awesome
dude.
Guy.
Yeah.
Enjoyed getting to know him and his family and just his whole team and operation. Yeah. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, they're awesome. Lindsay up there, do you ever deal with her? She's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
She's new, but she's been a great addition to the team, and she's doing a great job.
That's great, man. So why Front Runner versus any of the other brands out there? What do you think makes them stand out to you?
Well, man, Phil approached me, I guess like almost 2 years after, not last season, the year before, and reached out to me, and he kind of we just started talking. I didn't really know what was going to come out of it, and we just developed kind of a relationship, and he was just genuine, and you can't really teach that. Some guys just come in and either start throwing stuff at you or trying to make a deal or whatever, but it was just an organic kind of relationship, and he's a great guy. And the team, I went up to the factory, I met everybody, and more than anything, it was just being in the facility and watching the guys work, and it's like everyone had a purpose and was driven to like make a great product, which I thought was like really, really cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, when I was up there at the warehouse, I loved watching those guys. It was like a cohesive unit, man.
What'd you think of it?
Dude, I think their operation's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think they have some crazy stuff going on with how they build their boats, and they're top quality. I've heard of no problems with them, and just I want to get on a front runner soon, man.
Yeah, they're solid boats. They
they're
ride amazing, and
it's crazy how much market share they've gotten in such little time. They're competing with Contender.
They've only been in the game, for I guess probably maybe 4 years now.
Yeah,
and
Phil's
I
killing
definitely
it.
think they have a good headway going.
Yeah, man. I love it over there, and I love their boats. In front of me, I have the Flushmaster by Seamule. This little device simplifies the process for flushing your engines. All it takes is 3 easy steps. Plug the hose into the device, plug the hoses from the device into your motors, and press on. That's all it takes to preserve the longevity of your motors, ensuring 100% clean water is running through them. So if you want to preserve your motors, go to seamule.com and go pick up a Flushmaster. So you're running that during the winter, right?
Yep,
The
winter
front runner?
season, front runner.
What's
and then
happening in the summer?
summer? So I do have a full-time operation, which is a 58 Weaver for a family in Fort Lauderdale, and they've been great to me. I kind of turned that operation around as well. We did a full refit on the boat when I hopped on the boat. It was a great boat, but it needed a lot of love, and it needed to be updated up to today's standards, which Seakeeper, sonar, a few other things, but those are probably the main ones that I think you need if you want to compete in any of the Marlin tournaments or anything.
Is that what you're doing on that boat now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you doing mainly the Bahamas tournaments, or are you guys doing the whole
So we did
shebang?
So the end of when we got out of the boatyard, I guess a year and a half ago, we got out late, so we kind of missed the beginning of our Bahama season.
Yeah.
So we had a late Bahamas push there, and then from there we went down to Dominican Republic. We're down there for like 3 months. We fished the tournament down there, and then came back. By the time I came back, it was sailfish season, so that's kind of when I hopped on with Front Runner. And then this past summer we left, I guess in May, and we fished 2 of Skip's tournaments. And this is like my boss's first time fishing.
Yeah.
These big tournaments like this to this caliber against a lot of just badass operations and everything. And we did well. I think he got fired up even more.
That's awesome.
So it was a great year. We had some incredible fishing.
That's awesome, dude. So you're saying you guys went down to the DR. Not a lot of people know what it's like down there. Can you kind of shed some light into, is it like the wild, wild west out there kind of?
It's a special fishery for sure.
Yeah. How so?
I mean, there's only a few places. I mean, obviously more and more you find places where you're getting double-digit blue marlin bites a day, but that's definitely one of the places to do it.
Wow. That's incredible, man.
you could, some days you could see 20, 30 fish, which is pretty impressive. You know?
What's the biggest one you guys probably caught down there?
So it's unique. It's for whatever reason, the fads tend to hold a lot of the smaller blue marlin.
Okay.
For whatever reason that is, you typically don't get a bigger fish. I mean, you sometimes will, and fish a full season down there, you will see a couple bigger fish, but generally, fish are probably 75 to like 150 pounds.
Okay. So
you're fishing for numbers more than anything.
Yeah. You're not getting those granders down there.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, a 300 pounder there would be a really nice fish.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So I was hearing some stuff that some of the locals run up on you guys sometimes when you have a marlin on or something, or a fish on, or
it's cool, man. I mean, you have to think these guys, that's their livelihood. and we're there fishing their fad, which they put out there. Their time and money and effort and everything goes into that fad, maintaining it. And they're these guys, you should see like where they live and the boats they have, the equipment they have. It's close to nothing, and it's impressive. These guys are 20 miles offshore with a
Panga.
Yep, and with a little 40 Yamaha or something on it.
Wow.
And a handheld, and they're out there. No landmarks really besides some mountains to go off of, and you'll just be out there backing down on a fish, and all of a sudden these guys roll up on you and screaming at you in Spanish to either they want the fish, or typically a lot of the boats will either give them cash so we could release the fish, because we're trying to like just teach them we don't want to kill every fish out there, but we understand if we have to do it sometimes, but we give them money, which they're stoked about. Money, they're not going to turn down money.
Yeah.
And I like to bring them some tackle too when we go. When they
That's
come out, with give them some older rods and line hooks and stuff like that to help them catch more fish.
Has there any time been like an adversarial situation where like they're like, no, we're taking the fish?
I personally haven't got myself into a scenario like that, but I know I've heard some stories that have probably gone the wrong way, but they probably could have been from the guys as well in the sport fish boats that aren't really cooperating with them as well. So
right. I feel like you have to know that like you're probably gonna get run up on sometimes if you're fishing there.
Yeah, and they're not dumb, they'll see you trolling and they might go out of the distance. You're like, oh, I'll never see those guys again, and then all of a sudden you start reversing and the black smoke starts pouring up. They come zipping right back, and they're like, I'll find you, So they're not dumb.
They're looking.
Oh yeah, they're looking.
Yeah, dude. So is there anywhere else that you fished where like it's been incredible like that? Have you ever had those double-digit days anywhere else and stuff?
I've been down to Costa Rica a handful of years ago. Had some really good fishing down there.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get back on my own boat I'm running, and hopefully, really get dialed in down there. Hopefully one day.
Triple-digit days there, right? Or
Yeah,
really
it's good. It depending on what you're doing. That if you're fad fishing or what. But I've had been on pods with some great fishermen. That fish down there, and they just get me fired up to get down there. So, but even Bahamas this past year, we had some insane, really, really, really good fishing, and the BVIs has been really good. This past year's was great. On a Bermuda, marlin. Yeah, big fish, a mean fish.
Yeah.
And Bermuda, I was fortunate enough to fish a few seasons in Bermuda with some good operations. Had some good fishing down there too. A little different because you're pulling much bigger stuff. But I'm trying to learn it all. So
yeah, man. Is there a fish that stands out to you that you've caught in any of those places?
Like one specific fish?
Or a specific day or something, that really is embedded in your mind. I know you have a lot of fishing days, but...
Yeah, 2 days that really stand out was my first day in DR running my boat. I was on a Spencer, 70 Spencer at the time, Temptress, and the first day we were there, we were 11 for 12 on Blue Marlin.
Whoa.
So that was a special day. My first double-digit day. So I was.
That was your first day down there.
First day, yeah.
Wow. So you
you
were working, man.
Ended up being the best of that trip down there, but it was still insane fishing. And then, one that really just comes to mind is this past year in the Skips tournament, the custom boat shootout. We had a second place daily, with 3 blues and a white marlin, and we lost to Builder's Choice. They ended up catching 4 blues that day for the daily. And just fishing in general like that's as good as it gets for Abaco's tournament fishing with 50 of the best boats working, kind of the same area. So that was a special day for sure. To be able to compete and show my boss that, we could do it with these guys was pretty cool.
That's incredible, dude. So in the bill fishing world, I know in the meat fishing world, a lot of the guys are connected, and in the tournaments, they're always communicating and they're all fighting in the same square mile. How does it work in the bill fishing world? Like when you're out going to catch a big blue marlin, are all the boats next to each other, or are they just everybody's dispersed over miles and miles?
You have guys dispersed, but then you do have guys. You will have packs of boats working, certain areas.
Yeah.
And then, but just like anything, if somebody's wearing out, start and catch them. It's just a matter of time till the whole fleet pretty much starts working.
Everybody hauls ass.
Yeah, they just start work. And there'll be 2 boats, and then you start fishing around. You're like, think you're by yourself, and it's 6 boats, then it's 15, and you're like, all right, well.
Right.
That lasted. That was quick.
That's cool though. So do you have any? What are some of the notches on your belt for these tournaments, man? Like, what are some of the best placing tournaments you've done?
For which tournaments?
I don't know, man. You tell me, dude. I know you just fished some of the meat fishing tournaments as well, so you do a lot.
Yeah.
You do a lot, right?
Yeah. I mean, if it's a competition, every day is a competition, really.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of us. But yeah, I just been fortunate enough to have some good runs. Sail fishing has been great. We had a great run for a handful of years.
Yeah.
This past year was slower. JC had an insane year. I don't feel like he won every tournament this past year. But I'm proud of him, and hopefully with front runner we'll be able to win one this year for the front runner guys. And going into summer again, hopefully to win a big blue marlin tournament here soon.
That'll be cool, man. That'll be awesome.
That's the goal.
I'm rooting for you, dude.
Thank you, man.
From afar.
Yeah.
So I know for the sail fishing tournaments, you got to have the pilchards, you got to have the gogs, you got to have all the fresh bait there that's ready to go because these sailfish got to go after it. But for the blue marlin tournaments and all that type of fishing, what does it take to get prepped for the tournament? I know it's a lot, but
yeah, it's a little different. So for the sail fishing, we catch bait weeks in advance and pin them up, feed them, get them nice and hardy. And for the blue marlin stuff, it's a little different. You don't have to do all that, but you are, the mates especially, the morning of, a few hours that morning or, a few hours the night before, getting their ballyhoos, mullets, mackerels, everything rigged up. And, wearing a bait master shirt. Those guys take care of me, Mark and all the guys over there. They've been great, and their bait is just the best out there, in my opinion.
That's awesome, man. There's only so much bait to go around, so
Yeah.
I'm sure they hook you guys up, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. Sometimes.
Exactly, for sure. So you were fishing the meat fishing tournaments lately, right?
Yeah,
Meat
I always
Mayhem
try
and
to
all that?
fish. I always try to fish a couple every year. In the past I always fish on my buddy's little 26 CV, and we just go out there and we don't have the range like a lot of these other guys do, but we fish hard, and we've done well on the little boats, believe it or not. So it's fun.
That's sweet. So a lot of our listeners, though, they're from all over the place, but a lot of South Florida guys. Lately, how has the fishing been? What's the report that you could give the listeners today?
Yeah, up in Palm Beach, the fishing has been pretty good. Palm Beach, Stewart. Yeah. There's been a ton of sailfish up there. Those guys been catching sailfish all year, man. It's pretty impressive. It's like these residential fish that aren't moving. And then the big kingfish just live up there. That's where they are. Down here in Miami, we don't get kingfish like they do.
Yeah.
But we do get the tunas and stuff probably better than they do up the line and stuff. But that's kind of during our sailfish season, spring fishing and stuff. But yeah, that Palm Beach fishing, it's
different.
It's different, and it's like just good, like almost year round.
Yeah. People think it's the same thing. What you could do in Miami is what you could do up there, but I think it's completely different. You got different tactics. It's the same type of fish that you might be trying to catch, but it's a different style, I feel like almost.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm not a big planer guy by any means. I don't really do it at all, but I know the guys that are doing it, my buddies that are doing it, they're catching big wahoos like every time they go out.
Really?
It's pretty impressive.
The wahoo fishing's been pretty solid this year, from what I understand.
Yeah, I don't know if there's more of them or just more people are targeting them or what, but it's definitely been good.
Apparently, the Gulf Stream is like on our side a lot more this part of the year for some reason, and we're taking a lot of the fish from Bimini from what I understand, which kind of makes sense.
It makes sense because my last couple trips haven't been so great.
Yeah.
I feel like I've caught more on the kite than I do over there. So
Really? Wow. So now what's your next step, man? What's the next moves? I know you're going to have a baby, so you might be out of commission for a while, but what's the next moves? What's in the future for you?
and just, kind of keep rolling with Front Runner, my full-time gig, Hook Optics, our new pod, and hopefully get something else soon going here as well. I'm definitely still working. Not ready to, I don't think I'm ready to give up on the apparel just yet.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed it, and it came a long way, and hopefully could get back into it.
For sure, man. So you guys got to keep an eye out. He's going to be coming out with some stuff soon, hopefully. Right?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
It's going to be under a Backlash, or are you going to kind of have it on its own? What should the people be looking for?
Probably something on its own.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys got to stay up to date.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, I really appreciate you coming in the studio today.
No, thank you, man. It's great. You guys got a beautiful studio.
I appreciate that, dude. I mean, we love it here. Center Consoles only has a great spot, and you're more than welcome to come back all the time, man, and get on the show.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Let's get fishing sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. You guys got to check out Blacklash Radio. Listen to their pod. It's awesome. You guys got to listen to our pod too, but don't forget Nick and Anthony. All right, guys. Later.
Thanks for joining us on CCO's The Science of Fishing. We hope that this episode was helpful and you learned something for the next time you're wetting a line. Before we cast off, a special thanks to our sponsors, Sea Mule and Black Reef Co. Stay hooked by following us on social media at Science of Fishing and hitting the subscribe button. And if you know someone who'd enjoy this, don't hesitate to share. Until we meet again, catch 'em up.